a couple things in here. I added something to this to try to help you guys out so that you can really figure out how much dialing do I actually need to do to accomplish my goal. And so again, you can play with these variables up here. If you think that these numbers are high, low, whatever, obviously it varies if you are circle prospecting versus calling your clients to invite them to one of our events. Like there's a lot of variability in these different numbers. So you can go in here, science.kylewhissel.com. You guys can play around with this. It'll adjust the math accordingly. But the other number that you guys can play with is you can just come in here and say, this is how much money I want to make. And then simply by putting in there what your income goal is, how much money you want to make, then the system's going to tell you, here's how many dials you need to do annually, which is terrifying. Then how many do I need to do weekly? And then it breaks it down to daily. Assuming you're working 5 hours or 5 days a week, how much work do I actually have to do? So based on these assumptions, with a goal of making $250,000, all you got to do is make 20 dials a day. It's really that easy. It's legitimately that easy. Now, again, let's go. All right, well, hey, maybe I'm calling, I'm calling like expireds or something. Okay, drop that down. It's going to be a little bit more. But if you're calling those, you're probably using a dialer, so you can accomplish a lot more, a lot quicker. So again, you could play around with these numbers, do whatever you want. We'll go on the lower end here, and we'll go at 10% on that. So realistically, probably closer to 40 hours or 40 dials a day. That's like, now mathematically, we all agreed that about 20 dials an hour is pretty reasonable. So all I got to do, if I want to make $250,000 a year, if I could just make sure that I'm making 40 dials a day, 5 days a week, you will hit your goal. Like if Katie keeps doing what she's doing, Annika keeps doing what she's doing, Jeremy keeps doing what he's doing, they will make that money. I'm 1,000% confident in it. You just have to keep putting in the work. But that's all that it takes. And some of you guys just have a goal of 100. I'm not judging. You make what you want to make. What's gonna make you happy? You want to make 100, $16. It's basically an hour a day, right? And you're like, oh, well, my average price is lower. Okay, that's cool. We can adjust that. Let's go 8K. Okay, there you go. 20 dials a day, 5 days a week. If you just do that, you will hit your goals. Yeah.
And I was going to say, I'm assuming it's safe to assume, like, if you're putting in that work on a daily and weekly basis, that percentage is going to go up naturally. After 2 months, 3 months, 4 months of doing this every single day, your 10% conversion rate is going to go up to 15%, 20%. So it's just going to get better and better and better if that's what's daunting you right now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everybody here can think about the first appointment you went on versus the last appointment you went on, like how much better you've gotten, right? Like you've all improved significantly from that first appointment to the last one. So as you get better, some of the numbers that change that are more controllable by you is one, your dials per hour, because you start to realize I don't need to research every freaking person for 5 minutes before I call them, because the probability of me talking to them is like 10%. So I'm wasting 90% of my time on dumb shit. So you have some control there, but the big ones you have a lot of control over is your contact to appointment ratio. If I actually get somebody on the phone, or I get somebody at my open house, or I get somebody at the door, you have a lot of control over this contact to appointment ratio, and you can improve that substantially. And you have a lot of control over your appointment to close ratio. If I track my appointment to close ratio, it's probably 90%. It wasn't 90% the first time. It's probably 10%. But the more you do it, the more you practice it, repetition, you get better at these things. So as you start to do these things more and more, you'll start to control it. As you've been in the business longer and you do more deals, you'll start to see your average price increase. Evan's a great example. Evan's been one of my best friends for a long time. I sold you guys a condo. What did you guys pay for the condo? 70. And you sold it for? 70. And then you bought a house for? 640. So 170, 370, bought a house for 640. Like, you're going to have that. But how many of you would have been like, oh, I don't want to sell a $170,000 condo. Like, I piss on 170 grand. No, he's a prime example of a friend who I helped buy a condo, who then sold a condo, who then bought a house, and they've had thoughts of buying a bigger house. Like, that's how this works. Just do deals. It's going to naturally increase the longer you're in it, because you start to get better. You start to feel more comfortable with higher end people, and the people you sold little stuff to start to buy big stuff over time.